Hi, this is The Federal and I'm Monideepa Banerjee in Kolkata, bringing you the latest from Manipur. Now, shoot-at-sight orders have been issued in Manipur Thursday afternoon, a state that was racked by violence since Wednesday. The army was out, so were rapid action forces flown into Imphal early Thursday morning. The police was out too. Curfew was in force in at least 10 districts that had seen horrific violence since Wednesday afternoon. Houses burnt, vehicles burnt, churches burnt, and clashes between groups of people. 24 hours after it all began, Chief Minister N. Biren Singh, he addressed the people in a video message and said communication gaps and misunderstandings between communities was to blame for the situation. He also regretted that there had been a loss of precious lives. He didn't say how many. Meanwhile, to keep rumors and fake news at bay, internet mobile was switched off across the state for 5 whole days, so that's till Sunday. But perhaps thanks to broadband, pictures of the violence in Manipur kept flooding social media. Violence between the Kuki tribals of the hills of Manipur and the Meiteis of the valley of Imphal, Meiteis who now want tribal status. When your plane makes its descent into Imphal, you can't but notice that Imphal is a completely flat valley surrounded on all sides by hills. Now, why am I giving you this geography lesson? Because it could help you understand the conflict in Manipur better. The hills of Manipur comprise 90% of the land of Manipur. Less than 50% of its population lives in the hills. That population is tribal, mostly Naga groups and mostly Kuki groups. They are mostly Christian. The Nagas have not really spoken up in this current conflagration. The Kukis are very, very agitated about it. Quite a different picture in the valley of Imphal, which is just 10% of Manipur's land mass, but it houses 53% of Manipur's population. The Meiteis, Hindu Vaishnavites really, many of whom are however returning to their ethnic original religion, which is called Sanmahism. That's right, Sanmahism. They are doing so because they feel that's the best way to protect their Manipuri heritage. So all Meiteis are OBCs. A section of Meiteis, including those who are practicing Sanmahism, they want scheduled tribe status. And why is that? One word answer: land. Now, tribals who live in the hills can come down to the valley of Imphal and buy land there. But the Meiteis can't buy land up in the hills. It's protected for the scheduled tribes. So what is happening is Meiteis are beginning to feel that tribals are coming and buying land in Imphal, and the Meiteis are getting marginalized in their own homeland. And they feel that a scheduled tribal's status will protect their land. The demand for ST status is at least a decade old. The Meiteis have been approaching the state government for its recommendation to the center so that the center can make the necessary change in their status of the community from OBC to ST. But state government after state government has been sitting on the problem, probably recognizing that any movement there could open a Pandora's box. The Meiteis who want tribal status went to the N. Biren Singh government not very long ago, but N. Biren Singh also sat on their proposal. Finally, the Meiteis went to court, and as recently as this March, the High Court ruled that the state government must decide within 4 months what it is that they want to recommend and take the necessary action. Either recommend ST status for the Meiteis or not, but a decision has to be taken. Now, it is not just the Meiteis who are worried about their land. At the same time, the Kuki tribals are as well, because up in the hills in the meantime, the Biren Singh government has been taking measures to first of all check the population for infiltrators from Myanmar, the war-torn neighboring country. The Biren Singh government also wants to crack down on the drug trade. Apparently, reportedly, villagers have been clearing out swathes of forest deep inside and cultivating poppy over there and supplying to the drug cartels. And that is something apparently Biren Singh wanted to crack down on, which is why he started a identification, verification process for those tribals living in the hills. And this made the tribals insecure. They suddenly felt that they were about to be evicted from their traditional lands. The fear worsened by the fact that the Biren Singh government also wanted to make sure that reserved forests were indeed reserved and free of human habitats. So on Wednesday, the All Tribal Students' Union of Manipur called for protests in all the district headquarter towns of Manipur. They were primarily protesting against the demand by the Meiteis that they be recognized as scheduled tribes. But their agitation was also fanned by the so-called eviction drive from the forests. They were very, very deeply unhappy with this. The result of that particular set of processions that went right across the hills, there were clashes. What happened next? Who attacked whom first? The answer to that question will depend on who you ask. The Meiteis say the Kukis attacked first. The Kukis say the Meiteis did. So that's how violence spread simultaneously across Manipur on Wednesday at Churachandpur, at Imphal, Bishnupur, Kangpoki, and even as far away as Moreh on the Myanmar border. Local journalists who were on the ground told me that on day one, it was the Meiteis who took the beating, and on Thursday, it was the Kukis. Now, the big worry is that if this kind of violence is not nipped in the bud right away, immediately, then there's a real danger of it spreading to other states of the Northeast. Already, the signals from Mizoram are a little worrying. The local Rajya Sabha MP, Mr. K. Van Lal Veena, he has written to Mr. Amit Shah, Home Minister, and pointed out his great disappointment that indigenous people in Manipur are being evicted from their lands at a time, he says, when Meiteis from Manipur are living without disturbance in Mizoram. He is not the only one to voice such a sentiment. There have been other outfits who have spoken in the same certainly worrying vein. What happens next? Watch this space. I'll be following the narrative in the Northeast very, very closely.
Subscribe to the Federal's YouTube page for more news and updates.